Hey everybody, how's it going? Daniel Kaplan here. So in this video, I am going to be doing a quick run through on probably my favorite wholesaling strategy. And I know a lot of people always make videos, novations this, novations that. I'm going to be giving you the clear-cut reasons why you need to be doing these. And for context, one of the founders of No Accent Callers, we work with hundreds of different wholesalers. We have a 300-person overseas cold calling team for the sole purpose of getting leads. I have more data on this than probably any single other person in the market, and I am going to be breaking down why this is a must for any single team, big or small. You need to be doing this, or you are leaving money on the table and wasting a lot of time and a lot of money on your leads. Now, why should you be doing novations, right? The best part, as we like to say, is hey, we make more money. We can offer more money to the sellers. We usually make more money on these deals. Of course, that is an obvious reason why we like novations. We're not fucking charity here, right? The goal here is to make money, of course. Now, here's the actual reasons why you need to be implementing this within your business. Now, the first one is you have a larger market of buyers. The challenging thing with this wholesaling in general is we are selling to investors, right? People who want to buy at a good enough basis where they can go and make a yield. So let's say the asset is worth 200 grand fixed up, it needs 30K in work. Someone might say, hey, in order for me to hit my investment threshold, I need to buy this thing for 110 grand. So you've got a very stringent amount of buyers that you can work with. And now here is the beauty of Novations is we are marketing it on the MLS, right? 90% of all transactions are done on the MLS. And as wholesalers, we are forcing ourselves to be in the minority of that 10% market. Why are we not putting this on the MLS? Right? We have a bigger reach, we are going to have more eyeballs, and you have a higher likelihood of actually getting your deal closed. Now, my favorite part, which kind of piggybacks off the larger market of buyers, is we're catering to homestead buyers now. As I said earlier, with conventional wholesaling, we are usually selling to investors. Again, people who need to buy these deals at a discount. But again, that is such a minority of the market, right? Us wholesalers, we are forcing ourselves down this little path and are forcing ourselves to only work in our little bubble of investors that make up maybe 5 to 10% of the market. Now, the beauty of taking your deals to the MLS is that you are mainly working with homestead people, right? These are people who are wanting to buy this home with the goal of likely living into it, raising their family in there. And they are not looking at comps and ARV and what's my value add play here, right? No, they're thinking about, is this a good place to go and raise my family in? Is this a place in a good school area where I can go and raise my kids? Am I going to have a backyard where my dogs can run around? We are not working with people who are looking at it from like a monetary standpoint. They are not trying to get the deal at an 80% discount or 70 cents on the dollar, right? They have a different lens. So the beauty of working with these investors is they're actually going to pay what it is worth. We do not need to sell these deals for a discount so someone else can go and make money. And the challenging thing, though, with working with homestead buyers is there are some cons here, of course, is that usually they're going to be coming in with a different kind of financing, and if the property needs a lot of work, it might not qualify. So there's obviously an asterisk on all these benefits, right? For every pro, I could probably lay out 2 cons, but in my eyes, the pros outweigh the cons. But again, the TLDR of working with the homestead buyers and just a larger market of buyers means more eyeballs on our deal and a higher likelihood of selling our deal. Now, again, another beautiful thing is you have help on the dispo side. Right, in my own wholesale business, I have a dispo manager. I've got 3 dispo reps. I pay for my dialer, my investor lift, SMS. Right, I've got a lot of costs to go and sell these deals, and I have to run a fully separate team to go and sell these deals off. Now, the beauty of doing novations is that's what the realtor gets paid for, right? There's a reason why they get a commission for working this deal. So the burden is no longer on your team. Now you guys can comfortably get 50 deals under contract because you don't need to worry about having to go and find 50 different buyers for your deals, right? That is what the agent's job is. Their sole job is to find a buyer for your deal, do all the showings, do all the orchestration of the actual transaction, right? That is the beauty is you have somebody who his sole responsibility is selling your deal and nothing else, which will make your team's life easier to focus on other opportunities or other deals that you're actively pursuing. Now, number 4, which is probably one of my favorite parts, is you can do this anywhere, right? Usually, most wholesalers are within one market, right? Maybe they're just in Cleveland, Ohio, or Chicago, Illinois, and that's because that is where their buyers are. That's where their boots in the ground is. Now, the beauty of doing novations out of state or out of market is that you are piggybacking off of the agent's expertise. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. So usually, right, when I have a deal, I need to go within my market or within my network and try and find a buyer. The beauty is I get to piggyback off an agent who has been in that market for 10 years, and they probably already know every single buyer that is looking for deals in that market. So the beauty is I can now piggyback off of the agent's expertise, and I can tap into their network and piggyback off their knowledge as well. Right? They know the market, they know how fast these assets trade, they know what kind of price I should list it for. I can piggyback off that expert, and they are going to go and run with it. And to put this all together, because of all this, you obviously make more money, right? And don't get me wrong, I could rattle off top of head plenty of cons, right? One of the big cons is it's a longer sales cycle, right? Usually it might take me 30 days to sell a deal. With innovation, it could be 90 to 120 days. There's a lot of logistic nightmares with actually getting showings into the fucking properties. Sometimes these deals trade a lot slower on the MLS. If I end up signing up with a bad agent, they could literally kill my deal. You relinquish a lot of control by giving it to somebody else. Right? Don't get me wrong. There's always pros and there's always cons to any kind of strategy. But you need to be having this in your back pocket because there are so many instances where I see people turn away a lead or kill a deal because they simply do not have this in their underwriting and they do not have the skill set to go and execute on novations. So for any of you, especially those who are doing nationwide or especially people who have smaller teams and you don't have an in-house dedicated dispo team, you need to be doing novations. It is the number one way where you will find buyers for your deals. You'll have less headaches. I scratch that. You will have a lot of headaches. And then of course, right, which we all love, you make more money. And not to sound like kind of like selfish there, but the beauty as well is the homeowners actually make more money too. If I'm looking at a deal that its current state is worth 300 grand, I know I can list that novation at, let's say, I can offer them 250, 260 and list at 300. Versus if I was trying to do a cash wholesale, I got to go and offer 70% of the value, right? The sellers make more money, we make more money, the agents are happy, everybody's happy. I love novations. If you are not using them, you are missing out. Comment below, I'll give you the fucking scripts. This shit is easy. It's not that complicated. You need to learn and master this.